Good evening. We probably ought to start out tonight with just a moment of housekeeping, and that way folks will not be disconnected from us in the future, because I don't expect a lot of people to find us tonight because of what all went on. So, alrighty, BC. I understand you go to bed early. We hit the bed about 10 o'clock usually, and then I'm usually up about 4:30 in the morning. So I know about the early bedtimes. Well, that's early for me anyway. I used to be a night owl. So what I wanted to show everybody real quick is that on the website now, and this is going to get totally revamped as soon as I change hosts. It'll get totally redone. So, but for now, I just put a platforms menu, and I've got our big platforms that we've got. The main YouTube channel, which of course I can't stream for a week on. The backup channel, which is where we're at right now, and then Odyssey and Rumble. And the reason why I've got Odyssey above Rumble is because I didn't even realize this, but Odyssey, I signed up for it, I guess, in 2018, and Odyssey's been grabbing all of our videos and putting a copy of it up over on their site. So even the show from the 23rd is actually there. The show that YouTube gave me the community guideline strike for, it can actually be seen on Odyssey. It's over there on Odyssey. So, and then Rumble, that's a new platform we're going to try out, and we're going to see how it goes. I don't expect any of this to last real long, to be honest. I think we're probably going to lose our ability to communicate in pretty short order, to be honest. So that is what it is. So now that you guys know that I've got the platforms listed there, I'm going to discuss a little bit about what went on. And well, it's something I've dealt with pretty much my entire life. I'm not going to say that I haven't encouraged the hard roads that I've traveled, because I absolutely do. I continue to. I'm just, well, I'm not a bull in a china shop, but I'm one of those people that I don't allow myself to be bullshitted very easily, and here as of late, there's been a lot of things that I've brought up, mentioned other channels and stuff like that, and I've made some enemies. Well, my entire life I've done that, and there's one thing that I've learned, and that is, when you are in, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn, I've actually got a brain condition that causes this, but when you are an intellectual person, people will, instead of trying to debate, or instead of trying to have a civil discourse whatsoever, once they realize, the moment they realize that they're not going to win, then it moves from debate to trying to destroy you. And knowledge is, to me, the most important thing, earthly thing. The Father's the most important thing, but as far as earthly things, knowledge is the most important thing. And the reason why is because it's the one thing that you can't have without working for it. You can't have it. No matter what, even if you have a brain condition like I do, you still have to work for it. You still have to go out there and work for it. And the other thing is knowledge is something that you can't take away from somebody. You can't just take it, right? It's the one thing that I own that nobody can just take from me. And so when you have that understanding, and I had that understanding as a child, and when you have that understanding, people will try to destroy you. What happened last night, I don't think was just off chance of YouTube clipping me. I think that there's a particular YouTube creator that reported me. Now, at the same time and on the same note, Chris Martinson of Peak Prosperity got hit last night too. It would appear that there have been some changes made in their in YouTube's rules for medical misinformation. And so, as far as we're concerned, we're going to have to approach this a little bit more delicately than what we have. I thought that I was remaining within the rules, and apparently I was not, because they changed the rules. So that is what it is. I had no knowledge that they changed the rules. I don't believe they sent out an email or anything like that to let us know that they changed the rules. But they did indeed change the rules. And so, real quick, I'm going to take you back over to the studio here, or the web browser here, and I'm going to show you, just so folks understand. YouTube doesn't allow content about COVID-19 that poses a serious risk of egregious harm. YouTube does not allow content that spreads medical misinformation that contradicts local health authorities or the World Health Organization's medical information about COVID-19. This is limited to content that contradicts WHO or local health authorities' guidance on treatment, prevention, diagnosis, transmission, social distancing, and self-isolation guidelines, and the existence of COVID-19. Now, I didn't do that. I did not go against anything that the CDC or the WHO are saying. In fact, I'm just echoing the same things that they say. So where did I get in trouble? It says, let me find the one right here. Right here. And this is pretty much a catch-all. So this is pretty much a catch-all right here. Don't post content on YouTube if it includes any of the following. And this is what gets me, what got me. Other content that discourages people from consulting a medical professional or seeking medical advice. I guess that's what they got me for, because I don't fall under any of the other things. I've never, let's see. I've never just encouraged just home remedies or prayer or anything like that. Absolutely not. And I even appealed my guideline strike, and I told them, I was straight up with them, hey, look, I'm even concerned about COVID-19 because I've got COPD, and you know, I've said it many times, I don't think that I could survive it, you know? I just don't think that I could survive it if I caught it. And, you know, for me, this is for me, I'm going to tell, from now on, I'll tell you to seek advice from a medical professional. Seek advice from a medical professional. As for me, I'm just self-isolating to the best of my ability. And fortunately, I can do that. So that's not an issue. However, I really have not fell under any of these, right? Now, Chris thinks he knows what he got in trouble for, and that was something to do with deaths and COVID. See, they don't tell us. All they say is medical misinformation. They don't tell us. They don't break it down. They don't highlight any one particular thing. So what are we supposed to be able to do? And that's why I'm saying I think in reality it's a catch-all. I think if they don't like what you have to say, boom, you're gone. And it just so happened last night, I started talking about something that I'm sure that they wouldn't have liked. It didn't go against any of this whatsoever. Did not go against any of this. But hey, we're in their castle, right? So it is what it is. I'm not gonna back away, but I am not going to lead whatsoever on it. I'm going to give you guys information. I'm going to let you decide. I'm going to tell you to seek advice from a medical professional, and that's that. And if they still nail me for that, then it's probably time to consult a lawyer. So we'll see. We'll see where it goes. It's insane. From my understanding, other social media platforms like Facebook and Instagram and the like are getting rid of any posts talking about any types of rallies or anything like that for people to get together and protest things like mandates and stuff like that. So they are essentially trying to cut off our communication, period. And I'm just going to let that speak for itself, because I think it does. I think it speaks very, very loudly for itself. Now, there's a reason why it's important, and I have to say this. There's a reason why it's important that we do what we do. Incredibly important. And I don't know why I switched back, going right back there. This just came out on RT. Headline says New York State adds 12,000 COVID-19 deaths to Cuomo's toll after ex-governor accused of concealing the real number. Okay? That headline just came out. It's the last one that I put out. And that right there is the very reason, that is the very purpose of journalism. And I don't claim to be a journalist or anything. I'm not a journalist. But nonetheless, I do news, I provide information, and it is important that we do have that free speech in this country. Because if we did not have that free speech in this country, then we would never know anything like this. Anything like this. And they could just run roughshod on us and do whatever they wanted and say whatever they wanted, and that would just be it. That would be that. So it's very important. That's why the freedom of press and the freedom of speech is incredibly important, so that we can address things, we can call things out, and we can try to make things right that are wrong. That's the whole point. I mean, is this not wrong? If Cuomo did indeed do this, that's a very, very wrong thing to do. And if nobody was allowed to call it out, if nobody was allowed to talk about it, well, then would anything be done about it? Probably not. Probably not. And that's why it's very important that we're allowed to do what we do. I kind of had to have a chuckle because Bull of the Fifth Column put out a video today, and it was, I forget the name of it, and it's on the other account, so it'd be hard for me to just grab it real quick, but and it was something to do about news, right? And essentially what he was saying, and he was talking about Fox News, not us. And I'm kind of disappointed, to be honest. You can ask Jen. But, you know, he kind of worked backwards from the way he usually works. Instead of us, you know, saying the question that was asked and then answering it, he gave his answer and then said the question. And the funny thing is he's guilty of pretty much the very things that he said. He's guilty of creating division. But see, it's done in a different way. You have to understand the way that special forces are trained to do things is by winning the hearts and the minds of the people. Okay? That's not by using hate and anger and threats and all of that. That's by being, you know, the nicey, yesy kind of guy. And that is essentially what he's doing. The other thing that he does is he mutes everybody, for the most part, that disagrees with him. So, therefore, it would look at all appearances like he's got to be right. If everybody in his comments are agreeing with him, well, then he's got to be right. It's propaganda. It's just another form of propaganda. That's what we try to avoid here. You know, I put up a video on Rumble, and you know, I called out several channels. And yeah, I would love to have an open debate with any and all of them. I really would. But they won't do it. They won't do it. And there's a reason why. They woke the sleeping dog and didn't realize it until they already woke me. Now they realize they woke me. There's only two things they know how to do. Either cover their eyes and ignore me, eyes and ears, I suppose, or try to destroy me. So, in my opinion, I think the reason I got a guideline strike is because that's the method that Bo is trying to go by. Everybody else is just trying to ignore me. It's kind of funny. All weakness. And the reason why I think it's important, I think it's important to point this out, and folks need to understand, I'm not a malice person. I am not a malice person, but I will push you. I will push you to do better. And, you know, I made a comment on one show about how I thought Angry Prepper, you know, my opinions that he was going to give in. He was going to give in and succumb, and you know, I didn't do that to be an ass towards Angry Prepper. Absolutely not. I did that to piss him off, so that hopefully, if he is approached with it, he might remember me pissing him off, and it might just give him that little bit more he needs to stand his ground, because I do honestly see that he's not got a solid foundation. I can see it. I'm not a malice person, but I will go about methods and means that work, and people don't always like that. They don't always like it, but it is what it is. I would like to see people succeed. That's what I would like to see. But sometimes success isn't necessarily what someone thinks it is. Like with YouTube, with what we do here, with what the prepper community does here. Success isn't how much money you make. It's how many people you prepare. That's success. That's success. That's what you are, right? A prepper channel? Then shouldn't the number one mission be to get people prepared? I would hope. We're a news channel. My number one priority is to bring you honest news. Plain and simple. Not to make money. Not to make money. You know, and it's crazy. We were actually in the process of trying to remonetize our YouTube channel. Not because I wanted to live off of YouTube. I think that's ridiculous. But I wanted to be able to fund projects so that we could do things. So I could show you more and we could do more. And that was the secret squirrel mission that I kept talking about. And we had just achieved it. We had just achieved all of the milestones. And I had just put in the application to remonetize the channel because we were monetized before. And so I really appreciate it, Bo. I really appreciate it, man. And I'm sure that all of my few subscribers compared to yours really appreciate it too. Because now all of the projects that I had planned to do are put on hold. So I'm sure people really appreciate your games, man. The games I play, sir, aren't online. Okay? So anyway, it's ridiculous, and I didn't mean to spend so much time talking about what happened, but I have to. I'm not walking away from stuff anymore. I'm done walking away from stuff. I'm done. Plain and simple. I have been far too passive for far too long in my life, and I am done. What the title of the show is tonight, and what I wanted to discuss was what's going on with the military. Now, Daily Mail is reporting that, let me bring this up here, that Pentagon orders all active military to get the vaccine as soon as possible. 800,000 service members still haven't gotten a shot and could face court-martial if they don't. And so I don't know the answer to this question, and I honestly, I thought about the question earlier today, but I thought, you know what, I'm going to look it up live with you folks, and that's what I'm going to do. How many people in U.S. military? Good question, huh? So it looks like total number is 1,400 or 1 million. I'm sorry, 1 million. I'll read numbers, man. 1,417,370 total members in the military. So 800,000 is better than half of that. So over half of our military is unvaccinated, and I couldn't tell you why. I have no idea why. I don't want to speculate. But let's just say, for argument's sake, that 600,000 of those remain unshotted and are removed from their duty. What then? What then? Especially at a time that things are getting a little dicey with China. That's my concern. And I'm not totally sure that things might not get ugly with Russia. You know, there's a lot of countries that things could get a little ugly with. And, you know, especially now with everything the way it's unfolding in Afghanistan, there's likely going to be even more countries that don't have a real good taste in their mouth for us. So that's yet to be seen. But it's in my opinion, very concerning. A very, very concerning thing that we are looking at here. So, and that's you know, again, that's what the Daily Mail is saying. It says of active duty forces, 68% are fully vaccinated, 76% have had at least one dose. The Army has the lowest vaccination rate, where 40% are fully vaccinated and 57% have one dose. So, I don't know. The numbers, I don't know why those numbers don't quite add up from what I just looked at of total numbers. Well, right here, more than 800,000 service members out of around 1.4 million still need to get it. So, yeah, I'm not sure about their math, unless I'm getting something wrong, but, yeah, I don't know how they come up with those numbers. Seems a little off to me. The percentages is what seems off to me. But anyway, nonetheless, that is my concern with it, is that that our military is going to be even further weakened as a result of these mandates. And that should be a very concerning thing. Absolutely should be a very concerning thing. I thought I brought back up studio, sorry. I'm gonna have a vape. I've been watching things unfold. I listened to Blinken the best I did today. When he was speaking, I had a hard time staying focused on that dude for some reason. Some people are easier to listen to than others. I know, so, there's probably people out there going, yeah, we know. But I just had a hard time just sticking with him. Plus, I was doing other stuff on the computer and stuff, so it really does sound like it's a mess over there in Afghanistan. And, of course, he wasn't just outright saying that, but from reading between the lines of what he was saying, seems like it's a pretty big mess. This August 31st deadline seems to be one hell of a challenge. So we'll have to see how that plays out. I hope it plays out well. I hope we get everybody out, and I hope we can move on as a world, right? Because this isn't just about the U.S. There were many countries, allied countries, that were in there as well. And I wish the same for them. I wish them well. Again, like I said earlier, I'm not a malice person. I'm not. At the same time, I'm not a weak person. And I know that people mistake my kindness for weakness all the time. It happens all the time. And I am one of those light switch kind of people. I'm nice guy, nice guy, nice guy. And then when that line is crossed, that switch flips. And I'm an ass. And I know it. I tell people up front that I'm an asshole. And I don't think a lot of people listen to me when I say that, because I think the person that I project to be is such in such far contrast to who I can be if I have to be, that people don't see it coming, and then they're shocked, and then of course they're a victim. It's the way it works. But it just it is what it is. I wish all the countries well. I appreciate the other nations for their contribution in what we started, although we all know that it was all on, based on false pretenses and all that stuff. But nonetheless, I appreciate that they jumped in and helped us. I hope everybody gets home safe. I really do. It doesn't sound like that's happening right now. So at least at the current time, sounds like there's a lot of chaos over there, a lot of confusion. And, like I said, I look at that headline from the Daily Mail, and it's like, well, how could it get any worse? It just really seems bizarre. The entire situation really seems bizarre. Gosh, I'm trying to think if there's anything more really to say. Again, I want to be very careful. Not that I'm going to back away from what we do. I do want to comment to that. There will be stuff since I've got Rumble all set up and Odyssey squared away and all of that. There will be content that will go over there on both Rumble and Odyssey that will not be on YouTube, and it's not. You won't have any kind of a subscription thing or anything like that. Free to watch, and I'll probably do like Roy Potter does. And I'll probably like make a quick video saying, hey, I got a video over on Odyssey, links in the description. That way you guys can just go over, you can click the link and go right there and view it. You won't have to sign up, do anything special or anything. You can just click the link and go watch the video. I have no choice but to do that. I don't have the ability to host video, so I have to go with some type of a platform that does host the video. And in order for me to be able to be frank and honest with you, it has to be somewhere other than YouTube. So I'm not real comfortable with Rumble because, by going through and looking at their platform and all the different things, they've got like a community guideline kind of strike kind of thing, to where you can have your, violate their policies and you can lose your Rumble channel. So I don't know how likely that is, how often that happens, what kind of freedom of speech you have over there. But when I see that, I immediately, but I mean, there are some protections that they have to have, and I get that. They can't allow, things like underage porn and stuff like that. I mean, it's just common sense. So I understand having rules in place to be able to not allow certain types of content for obvious reasons. But when it comes to just free speech and people having discussions about things, that should be allowed. And it's clearly not on YouTube. So we'll try it. But from my understanding, Odyssey is pretty, it's pretty much whatever over there. So I'm sure they've got their rules too. But as far as freedom of speech, I don't think there's much concern over there as far as that being violated. Now, that being said, I think that it's only a matter of time, and we're going to lose these platforms. The only platforms that will be allowed to exist are going to be, like, I'm just going to put the title of state-approved platforms, right? Government-approved platforms. And in that way, they can control everything, all communication. And I really do see that coming down the pike really hard and really fast. And, my advice to individuals out there with YouTube channels and stuff like that, large or small, it doesn't matter. Do not rely on that income. I know that there's a lot of individuals out there, including, and I'm not calling them out in a negative way, but including Prepper Now, that is looking to that as a crutch, so to speak, for if he has to if he has to walk away or be forced away from his employment, and the same for many others out there. And it's just my advice, and I hope you take it, not to rely on that. Go set up a different basket of eggs. I'm not saying don't work on that basket of eggs. I'm not saying that whatsoever, but don't count on that basket of eggs, because I don't think it's going to be there much longer. So, that's just a little bit of helpful advice from somebody that everybody doesn't want to know anything, but I don't know what to tell you. Pattern recognition, history, just millions of things you watch. In the coming months, social media is going to really get narrow in choices. And we're not going to be allowed to speak through social media. You can expect that. So, I think you're going to see in the very short term, over the next week to 2 weeks, they're going to really come down and hit the hammer down hard on channels like on YouTube and pages and groups on Facebook and whatnot. I think they're really going to tighten it up. So I would expect that within the coming couple of weeks. But as far as the doing away with platforms and stuff like that, I would say maybe sometime within the next 3 months would be my guess right now. So, and it's just speculation. And again, I can't tell you how my mind does everything it does, but it does. And we could sit here and we could insult me because I might know a thing or two, or we could try to learn. So, and like I've tried to call these folks out before, 2014, you can go back and look at the channel, the regular channel, all the way back to 2014. And you tell me how many times I've been closer to right than wrong. And it's not an I told you so thing. It's not a beating my chest thing. I am trying to help people. There is no ego here. There is no pride here. I'm just trying to help. I had never gone into this to make money. I'd never gone into this to become popular or famous. The Father sent me to help. If that goes against what people's wants are, well then my suggestion would be to focus on your needs. So anyway, let me go ahead and get headlines done. We'll make it a quick, easy show tonight. Basically, because nobody knows we're here. After the show, I am going to download the show, and I'm going to upload it to both Odyssey and Rumble. And the reason why it won't automatically be on Odyssey is because it's the other channel that automatically syncs with Odyssey. So for as long as I have to use the backup channel, I will have to manually upload the shows to Odyssey. So anyway, let me get the headlines out of the way. Let me have a sip or two of tea. Amazon stuff didn't come in today like it was supposed to. On this screen, take a quick check to see. Last I knew it was in Ohio, because they don't own a map. It started out in Chicago, and it wound up somehow in Ohio. So I don't know. They're saying, of course, tomorrow or the next day. So package delayed in transit. And again, arrived at the Amazon facility. Yeah, I don't know, because what it tells me is it arrived at the Amazon facility in Chicago at 1:26 p.m. yesterday. It left the facility at 4:46 a.m. this morning. All right, at 3 p.m. it's marked delayed in transit. At 5:45 p.m. it arrived in Wilmington, Ohio, and then now at 7 p.m. it says package delayed in transit. So, and the only reason why I'm telling you that is I don't know if this is a widespread thing or not, but like I said, I think folks can really expect a lot of supply chain issues, and that's not necessarily just not that the goods aren't here, but that they can't get them to you. I think it's going to be supply chain issues all the way across the board. And at some point, I think it's really going to, start being affected by manufacturing, or I should say the lack of manufacturing. And it's going to get crazy, folks. It's going to get crazy, and it ain't going to take long. So I don't know if these delays are anything to do with any of that, or if it was just somebody's flub. So put it on the wrong truck or whatever. I don't know. So anyway, let me switch back over. We'll do some headlines here. We'll get out of here for the night. I actually was gonna just take the week off, and then I got to thinking, duh, you got backup channels. So, game on, I guess. Let's see. It helps if I have the right screen. There. That might help. We do have a few headlines from last night. Of course, there's a whole hell of a lot of headlines that I didn't do from last night. Thanks, YouTube. Let's see. Supreme Court says Biden can't end Trump-era remain in Mexico policy for migrants as DHS vows to vigorously challenge the ruling. Again, that was last night. St. Louis Public School Board approves plan to mandate COVID-19 vaccine for employees. Okay, that was also last night. Republicans demand return of $169 million in aid money allegedly embezzled by exiled Afghan President Ghani. Last night. Now we're to information from this morning. Well, this is the video that I had made. You can view it either on Rumble. It's right there on the home page, right here on the Weber site. However you choose. And it's not for sensitive ears, I'll tell you that. And that is going to be a warning too, by the way, on the other platforms like Odyssey and Rumble. I do try to curb my language here on YouTube and stuff like that. I'm not saying I'm going to be a sailor over there, but you can expect me to be a lot less restrictive on what I say. Just over there. On YouTube, I will keep it to the best of my ability, family friendly. Okay, and that's not because of YouTube policy or anything like that. It's because it isn't really necessary. It isn't really necessary. But I feel that passionate speech is important. And so sometimes a 4-letter word or two really puts emphasis on what you're saying. And I think that in some cases it's needed. I just try to kind of curb it to the best of my ability on YouTube. I try to keep it family friendly. NRA cancels annual convention in Texas set to mark group's 150th anniversary over COVID-19 concerns. Washington State High School requires student athletes to wear tracking devices for COVID-19 contact tracing, says reports. Again, I'm just going to give you guys the information. When it becomes related to anything to do with COVID or the vaccines or anything, I'm just going to give you guys the information. I am not going to elaborate, embellish, nothing. Indian economy to expand by more than 18% in April through June, says a report. United States Vice President Harris tells Vietnam to raise pressure on Beijing as Chinese media accuse Washington of sowing divisions in Asia. World Bank cuts off financial support to Afghanistan as Taliban seizes power. China discovers massive shale deposit at its largest oil field. Wow, I don't know what the deal was with that headline. Russian Defense Ministry reveals plan to evacuate more than 500 people from Afghanistan, including citizens of Ukraine and Belarus. Hang on, a few days. Taiwan reports 0 new locally transmitted COVID cases for first time in over 3 months. Maybe they're just gay. Simon Callow condemns tyrannical approach taken by LGBTQ plus rights group on gender identification. Twitter sends blessings and curses to veteran Iranian diplomat Javad Zarif as he leaves office for academia. Baby from famous image on Nirvana's hit album Nevermind sues band for profiting from sex trafficking venture and child porn. Let's see, bodybuilding icon Schwarzenegger loses sponsor over un-American COVID rant backing masks and vaccines. Vaccines, and Fauci. Lockdowns are over in the name of Jesus. Australian police fine church and ban services for openly defying COVID restrictions. Huge decline in COVID-19 vaccinations since Taliban takeover of Afghanistan. Pardon me, says UNICEF. Let's see. Like the Soviets with communism, U.S. mission to democratize Afghanistan failed as it couldn't impose what it doesn't have at home. Ivory Coast declares first Ebola patient in over 25 years is cured. Russia's Lancet state-of-the-art suicide drones have begun testing, and weapons final design has been approved, says Kalishnikov. And I'm telling you, this isn't the only high-tech weapon you're going to see in the news report from the Ruskies. U.S. troops call it World War Z. RT correspondent in Kabul airport describes horrendous situation. Turkey's refusal to recognize Crimean Peninsula as Russian is now a main thorn in the side of partnership between the two nations, says the Kremlin. The shots fired at Kabul airport as Taliban ward off crowds. Vietnam to pay recovered COVID patients to care for sick amid surge in cases that is overwhelming medics. English National Trust to give employees Mediterranean work hours with long lunch break because of climate change. Taliban movement has good relations with both Russia and China, political spokesman for Afghanistan's de facto new rulers claims. EU rules block Nord Stream 2 owner from exclusive access to its own pipeline. Scapegoating China cannot whitewash the U.S. Beijing blasts Washington ahead of American report into COVID-19 origins. Hang on, let me have a sip of tea. There is a lot of, a fair amount of headlines. I mean, they were just slamming all day. Thought you were talking to yourself over there for a moment. I can't see the chat, so you guys know. Let's see. Indonesia Navy impounds tanker over allegations of stealing some 300,000 barrels of oil from Cambodia. West is working to interfere in Russian elections next month and actively backing anti-government forces, top Moscow official claims. Russia will always be part of Europe, so it's high time for relations to improve, Austrian foreign minister tells Moscow's envoy. Here's the other one. Russian army unveils electric recon vehicle with solar batteries and drone landing pad. Zelensky did it. Former Ukrainian President Poroshenko points blame at successor after he is attacked with green antiseptic liquid. Let's see. Killing for the sake of killing. Disillusioned U.S. drone pilots leak footage of airstrikes against unarmed Afghans, says reports. OnlyFans reverses adult content ban, says it will provide a home for all creators. I don't know if they can pull back out of what the backlash, though. I mean, it is what it is. India to sell $81 billion in state assets over the next 4 years to boost economic growth. Can we sell our government, like the members of it, to like another country or something? Just asking for a friend. Germany will continue to help Afghans wanting to leave after August 31st despite Taliban warnings, says Chancellor Merkel. A gun-wielding attacker killed by police after shooting spree leaves 4 dead near French embassy in Tanzania. Tanzania? I'm not sure. I don't know if that's Tanzania or not. Anyway. Only about 10% of federal rent assistance funds have been distributed to Americans as mass evictions loom. Now you think about that. 10% of all that money that was supposed to be put aside for federal rent assistance. It's mind-blowing. It was mind-blowing how little of that money was actually spent on the American people to begin with. You know, the whole package. But then when you realize that only 10% of what was supposed to go for rent assistance has been doled out, it's got to change. New York governor adds 12,000 deaths to publicized COVID tally. Already talked about that in a different headline. Putin and Xi pledged to keep peace in Central Asia after U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan sparks fears of drug trafficking and terror. Fukushima nuclear plant to construct undersea tunnel to release 1 million tons of treated water. Fake poisoning or genuine attempt, Russian TV documentary examines evidence of alleged attack on opposition figure Alexei Navalny. Brazil backs booster COVID shots for an immunosuppressed and older citizens. Ukraine condemned for sanctions and new crusade against media freedom by world's largest international security organization, says the OSCE. Don't invest in Ukraine, says Estonian president, warning corrupt courts could see those sending money to Kiev lose their cash. 16 soldiers killed as Boko Haram attacks outpost in southern Niger. Ministry claims 50 militants slain. Women remain in danger. Female footballers dodge gunfire to flee Taliban-led Afghanistan as escape organizers slam U.S. government. Ex-Trump advisor Roger Stone claims he was banned from ex-campaign spokesman Jason Miller's social network Getter. I'm telling you, there's likely no truly safe network to be on when it comes to freedom of speech. UK police risk eroding public confidence. Watchdog warns after report finds black people are more likely to be tasered for longer. Military resources take priority in the last days of evacuation. U.S. not responsible for Kabul airport after the troops leave, says the Pentagon. Havana syndrome strikes again. 2 U.S. officials to be evacuated from Vietnam over mystery symptoms amid trip by VP Harris. Unvaccinated Delta Airlines employees to be charged $200 extra per month in health insurance to cover COVID costs. Pentagon says U.S. troops must get their COVID-19 vaccines ASAP. Let's see. Police investigate alleged voyeurism in hidden recording device at Football Association. Black defendants' race-related woes should influence sentencing, accord in Canada rules, sparking debate over 2-tier justice system. Isn't it crazy how all these nations are doing everything they can to create different tiers of citizens, different classes of citizens? You know where that leads. It's not the first time it's been done. Blackwater founder finds new income stream in flying Americans out of Kabul at $6,500 per seat, says reports. It's crazy. It is crazy. The vultures are even flying around people that are desperately trying to get out. U.S. Secretary of State claims up to 1,500 Americans actively want to leave Afghanistan. Western media is complicit in hiding truth of Afghan war, allowing extraordinary lie to last 2 decades, says WikiLeaks Harafenson. I don't know how to say that name. Let's see. Russian military planes evacuate hundreds from Afghanistan. Already covered that headline. First man sentenced in Michigan governor kidnapping plot gets 6 years after guilty plea. Porn star Ron Jeremy indicted on 30-plus counts of rape and other sex crimes, including assault on a minor. School districts face losing accreditation for defying Illinois mask mandate. Here's the headline of the day right here. Man dies after having sex using epoxy adhesive instead of a condom. Apparently he hadn't heard about the shampoo hair lady, I guess. Let's see. Kamala Harris visits Vietnamese site marking capture of enemy pilot John McCain, seemingly thinking it's a memorial. I mean, could you do anything to destroy the image of this country anymore? I don't think so. New York State adds 12,000. Oh, I already kind of read that from a different article. So that's it. That is the headlines. Wow, I got the show done in an hour flat tonight. I am going to take that as a blessing and get the heck out of here. and just chill for the rest of the evening. So anyway, I hope everybody has a blessed night, and we'll be back again on the backup channel tomorrow, God willing, if we don't lose this one, and we'll talk to you then. So as always, God bless you, we love you, be one with your spirit, and shalom.